I've had a day to look over all the NFL trades at the deadline and really give my grades and think about my grades and process my grades for each and every team. So today, me, some random guy who watches football, will be grading these NFL GMs, coaches, organizations, and telling them what they should do with their teams that they get paid millions of dollars to orchestrate and run. And they're probably not going to listen to me because I'm just some random guy on YouTube once again. But maybe one day I'll be in their position. So I got to put my teacher hat on today and bring out my grading system. And maybe just maybe one day my opinions will actually affect these teams. But for right now, I think the Eagles maybe will want to get me on their team as I'm giving them an A minus. So they get Jalen Phillips, and I think they got him at a pretty good price. And the most important thing is that they keep AJ Brown. So a lot of people want AJ Brown out, and I do too. But I want them to do it in the offseason. So they keep him right now. I don't think they should get rid of him during the season, mid-season, when they're fighting for a championship. He is a bad locker room presence in my opinion, and he's too much drama for not enough output with a big contract. And I know that they've been putting the offense in a different way, right? Not forcing him the ball, but still, I don't think he's valuable enough to that team for what he does in the locker room and what his contract is. So, good move to keep him now. I think they should get rid of him in the offseason, but really good move to keep him right now. And a great move to get Jalen Phillips. They're going all out for the Super Bowl this year. So A minus. Another team that might want me to actually join them is the Cowboys. I'm giving them a B minus. So they get Quinnen Williams. I don't really care too much about the Logan Wilson part, but they get Quinnen Williams. I give them a B minus though because they gave up a little too much, in my opinion. They gave up a second round and a first round. So they almost give up what they got for Micah Parsons. Now, obviously, don't have to pay that big contract, which is a good reason that they're at a B minus right here. They get a good defensive player at a way lower contract than Micah Parsons. They can actually sign Pickens this offseason. They can get a couple younger defensive guys, and this will help them out this year, but I think this really sets them up well for next season. Maybe they can make a real Super Bowl run if they get some young defensive players in the offseason. The Bills, they won't want me talking about their team. They're not going to listen to me. I'm giving them a C. They didn't get any wide receiver. I wanted to see them do something. They didn't. So they do nothing. They get a C, not the worst thing because they still obviously have a great team. They don't give up anything, but a C for the Bills. The Chargers, I give them an A minus. They really needed offensive line help, and they get that from Penning. Great move by the Chargers. Nothing fancy. Nothing, big that where people are talking about it, but good move from the Chargers. Seahawks get a B minus. They got Shaheed, but gave up a little too much. They gave up a fourth and fifth, but kind of like the Eagles, they're really going all out for it this year. I like to see it. The Jaguars get a B plus from me. Now they get a B plus instead of a B minus like the Seahawks because they get Jacoby Myers, but instead of giving up a fourth and a fifth, they give up a fourth and a sixth. And another reason that they're at a B minus and not at a B, or at a B plus and not at a B minus like the Seahawks, is that they had a bigger need than the Seahawks. With Travis Hunter out, they had a really big need for a wide receiver to come in and help this offense out. It's been struggling. So great move from the Jaguars, and B plus for the Jaguars. All right, the Jets get a B. Now they give up Quinnen Williams, they give up Sauce Gardner, and they're really going into that rebuild. They get a ton of first round picks. They get Adonai Mitchell, but you give up the good part of your team, which was your defense. You make them worse. Now you got these first round picks to build your team, but you had two young defensive players, so it's going to be hard. You're going to have to fill those positions now with other picks. So a whole reset, nothing crazy, nothing too good, but a little reset for the Jets. Obviously, they didn't have anything right now. I give them a B. They save some big money with the Sauce Gardner contract. It's really going to come down to what they do with those picks that gives a definitive grade on these trades for the Jets. The Colts, one team that's not going to like my grading. They're not going to want me in their organization. I give them a C plus for the Colts. They go all in and get Sauce Gardner. They give up 2 first-round picks, Adonai Mitchell, and they got to pay this guy a lot. I almost gave him a C, but I gave him a C plus because I was under the impression that they were going to pay him $30 million a year. It's actually not that. It's a 5-year deal that they have him on this season or next season. 5 years starting next season, so the rest of the season, 5.5 years. Next season they're going to pay him about $22 million. And the next 4 years they're going to pay him about $26 million. Now I gave him a C plus instead of a C because 60 million of that 130 million total is not guaranteed over those next 5 years. So if anything happens, they can move on and free up 60 million of that. Not sure exactly how the exact contract situation will work out, but 70 million is guaranteed. And if he does stay, he'll make a total of 130 million. Now, if they win the Super Bowl, right, it's not going to matter what grade this is, and that's the biggest thing. That's what matters, right? It's not going to matter what or how good this trade was. If he helps them win the Super Bowl, if Sauce helps them win the Super Bowl, that's all that matters. But I do think they gave up too much for him. They could have got young defensive players with those picks, but if it, like again, once again, if they win the Super Bowl, that doesn't matter. It works out for them. Thank you so much for supporting the Sandbar Playbook. My name is Aidan Negizio. If you want to watch another video, you can click here. If you want to subscribe, you can click right here. So thank you so much. Make sure you comment what you thought, like, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. I'll see you next time.